My name is Sandra Proctor. I was born in a little town called Crown Point, which is about 5 to 8 miles from New Orleans, right outside of New Orleans. My nickname is Cherry, and that came about. I would ask my mama, why'd you name me Cherry? And she said, because I was so sweet. She said, my grandma said, I don't think that's an appropriate name, so she named me Sandra. So Cherry became my nickname. Yeah, you have to be in a club, the special club, to call me Cherry. That is my family, my cousins that I grew up with, and close friends. My favorite memory was swimming and crabbing in the bayous. We would ask my mom and beg her to take us swimming, and we would bug her all day, and then our friends would come over, can we go swimming? And finally my mom would take us swimming, and then we usually end up crabbing, and we would crabs in the bayou, and then mom would cook them for dinner later. The school that I went to had only been integrated for a year, so therefore the students that was before me, they got the initiation of it. But yes, when I went, it was still very volatile. There were people all outside of the school, along the streets, and my being the first, I was afraid. I was asking them, so what are they going to do to us? Are they going to hurt us? And they said, oh, it's going to be okay. But anyway, that part. And then, but we would get into the classrooms, and it was pretty normal. Some of the kids stared at you. A lot of the teachers, were kind of weird. But then there were a couple who were very inviting and very, compassionate. But the most coolest class was the chorus class, and that was the music class. It was mixed. We were talking to each other and singing. So that was kind of one of my experiences. Another thing was, so there were no black cheerleaders, no black football players, no black sports. So I came up with a plan. So I went all around and asked, there's about 100 black kids. So I would go to every girl and I said, go out for cheerleading, because if a lot of us go, they're going to look bad if they don't pick one. And I convinced them, because a lot of them wasn't even feeling that. But about 20 or 25 went out. And the principal came, and that wasn't her territory, but I made it big. So the principal came, sat at the table with the judge, and we all competed. I was so excited that they picked two, and I always felt because of me. But nobody else, I don't know if they even remember it. But that was some of the issues of segregation. So I'll tell you a story. I always wanted to be a model. When I was in New Orleans and growing up in the department stores, a lot of black people didn't go into the big department stores. First of all, they had not been welcomed. And then when they finally let them in, they didn't want to go. They said they couldn't afford it. So I was always a daredevil. So I would work in the summer, save my money, and I would go in. I'm going in this department store. And I would go in there, and it was like a wonder world. And I saw signs, fashion show at 12 noon. I said, I'm coming back to see this. So I would go, get lunch, come back, and there was these girls, these white girls, modeling. I said, oh my God, I want to do that. I went up to a sales clerk, could you tell me where the fashion coordinator is? Probably in a little fake voice. And I went up, and the first time I went, a lady, yes, and I said, oh, I want to know, how can I be a model? She said, we're not hiring. And I left. I wasn't giving up. Sometime later, maybe, I don't know, a year later, next year, I went up. Now I know where her office was. I didn't ask anybody. I went up, tapped on the door, opened the door, and a lady said, a cute little young French girl said, hi, come on in. Now that was different. I went in. She says, what can I do for you? I said, oh, I watch the models. How can I become a model? She said, well, tell me about yourself. So I told her, I said, well, I just graduated from high school. I'm about to go to LSU. She says, oh my God, you are perfect, but you graduated from high school, so you can't be on our high school team. You can't be on a college team because you haven't gone to college yet. Come back next year. I said, here I go again. So I went home and I got my sister. I said, you're perfect, come on. Brought her down that weekend. She got the job. So we spent our summers hanging out with the models from D.H. homes that black people was afraid to go in. And they would have fashion shows on the balcony in the French quarters with these big popular bands, Deacon Jones. So that's how we lived our life. And we were going to some of these little kids' houses who lived in these mansions. And we were like outside of our neighborhood. Well, I went to LSU after high school, Louisiana State University. Woo! And that was a beautiful school and very interesting and fun. And I did a lot of fun curriculars. I was on a teen modeling board and, you know, a bunch of interesting things. When Fifth Dimensions came to my school to perform, I told all my friends, I'm gonna wear this outfit, they're gonna notice me, they do a stint, they go in the audience, they get the people, they're gonna choose me. Well, when the show came, we got our tickets, we couldn't even get near the stage. So of course they didn't meet me. I said, let's find a way backstage. We go backstage and we meet them. They come out. I meet Lamont McLemore. And my friend said, she wants the model. She wants the model. He said, send me a picture. I was like, oh my God. And then my friend said, you know, he's never going to hear from you. He tells all the girls that because he gave me his address. And then the man sent me a picture. He says, if you ever come to L.A., call me. I didn't even think I was coming to L.A. then. So later on, I came to L.A., I called him. So what he did was make me his makeup artist. And then my roommate, her cousin, was a flight attendant with Western Airlines, and she would write her all the time. And then she told her once, she says, oh, my big dreams is to travel the world. I want to go to Africa. I want to be a model. And then, I don't know, sometime later, she sent us this tear sheet, and she was modeling. She even had ads on it. And she said, and I went to Africa, and I stayed in a palace. I said, that's what I'm going to do. So I started to zero in on that. And then just like when you open up something, it happens. I looked in the newspaper, and it was a big advertisement. United Airlines advertising, looking for stewardesses. That's what they were called then. And that began my search. And so I just started to go on those interviews. And sometime I flew out to Dallas or Houston. And eventually I became a flight attendant with Delta Airlines. And so I soared into the beyond. Yeah, well, after flying for a while with Delta, I wanted to transfer to California. And I came out to California, and I think, you know, what you normally do, get a regular little job. I was a file clerk in a stock brokerage company, and that held us over and learned the city and learned, you know, just about living in LA. And then in one of the apartment buildings I lived in, I became friends with some girl. She said she had been left by a boyfriend, and she was staying with someone else, and so she was just an interesting girl, and she was from Boston, Hyannisport, and she knew the Kennedys. She was so funny. She was a black girl, and she would always talk like that, and I started to believe her. So one day she told me, she said, oh, I'm going to go down to the Playboy Club. I said, for what? She said, I'm going to go apply. I said, apply? You work at the Playboy Club? You got to be kidding. She says, come with me. So I went with her. And when I went, there was all these gorgeous girls, looked like models. I mean, they were just so beautiful and classy. And I said, I'm going to do it. So they asked you to fill out a little card. And I did. I never heard from them again. I didn't take that sling down. I called. I said, yeah, I came for an interview a couple of months. I have to just tell you, I wasn't very impressed. I thought that wasn't fair. You didn't get to see the person behind the card. Da-da-da. You didn't even know who I was. You know, you didn't get, she said, I like your, whatever. And then she started calling me every time I had a audition. So she became friends. She was the bunny mother. Her name was Judy. So anyway, eventually I got a call. She said, oh, you don't even have to audition. You're going to be a bunny. So I became a Playboy bunny. And that was interesting. Did that for a while, and then they closed the club. And then, I don't know, later on, I started to go into showbiz. Had an interest in that. Started doing extra on the set. Then started checking out the makeup artists. I'm going, that's an interesting job. I like creativity. So I went back to makeup school, met some interesting friends, and I became a makeup artist for a while. Some of the people that I did makeup for was some famous photographers at the time, and I can only remember Stephen Harvey. And what I'll tell you about Stephen Harvey, he was the person that shot Michael Jackson off the wall. The brick wall was right outside his studio. So I did some makeup for him, and he did a lot of the models or beginning models, and I used to do makeup for him. For him, I did Demi Moore. I did her husband, Freddie. He was a musician. I can't think of Freddie's last name, but you can look it up. He was a musician, and I did a lot of Steve's clients. Yeah, I started modeling. I started from the photographers and the models. Because once you're in it, you start to look beyond. I could do that. And sometimes the photographer said, hey, Sandy, you should get in front, So anyway, and that's when I started to model, and I started to do a lot of fashion and fashion. What advice? I do the same thing. Maybe, I don't know, because life just throws you things that you really don't have any control of. You can't say, well, I know I would have just continued. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes family members get ill. You have to stop, kind of concentrate on that. You might get ill. So I would just say, but never give up. Never stop pursuing your dreams, and never stop believing it. No matter what. If you get knocked down, you trip, get back up and just keep focusing. At 70 years old, I'm not giving up. I want to just open up to continue to pursue dreams. I don't care, no matter what that might be, maybe writing, maybe doing commercials, whatever. Maybe opening and venturing into a new business. I'm open to the universe to receive whatever it has to develop and enhance my life.